welcome to Should I Buy This Game, featuring Cascadia, rolling hills, and rolling rivers. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how these games are played, and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the games to help you decide if you want to add these Cascadia rolling hills and rolling rivers to your collection. So here we have Cascadia rolling rivers and Cascadia rolling hills, and they call these a flip and roll and write game. We're going to start with rolling rivers. So for both games, you have a series of cards, and there's some with ones, and as we go later, twos. And you put two of each type of the ones and the twos into a pile. There are excess cards that you can trade out. So there's three of each habitat in each level, and you use two per game. And when you first start, you would only flip over one card, and these would be blank, but I just filled it in for now. And what it's showing you is to access these cards, you're going to need these animals. So to do that, we have dice. Now there are 4 dice, and these dice, excuse me, would be for everybody. So we'll roll these. And the results of these dice, everybody would use. But then we also over here have 2 personal die. And everybody, there's a set of 8. So for 4 players, everybody would have 2 dice, and they would roll it themselves. And only the individual player would take these dice into account. So each person has 4 that they're sharing and 2 that is only theirs. So when we look at this, we realize this isn't a very good dice roll because basically one of every animal is showing. Now this is a special die that allows you to take 1 additional animal. So in this case, I could take a bear and an elk. So let me roll again and see if we can get a better combination. A little. So here you have a few options. On your turn, you take 1 animal. So here, because it's a salmon or a hawk, this one lets you pick 1 of your choice. And over here, I also have a hawk. So I have options. I could take 3 hawks, 2 salmon, 2 bear, or 2 fox. And then we have this die once again where we would get 1 additional. So if I was to take 3 hawks, those 3 dice would be used, and from these I could choose 1 additional animal to add. Now where am I adding it? We have this form here, and we have all the animals, and as we get them, we're adding them along the track. And then whatever number is at the end is the animals you have to use in your turn. Now I just want to show one more thing with the die. On this one, as I showed you, it allows you to get 1 additional animal. This one lets you spend 1 less leaf. There's 3 ways you can spend your leaves. You can use 1 to down convert. So you could take, if you got the bear but you needed an elk, that would be down converting. Using the animals here and changing them into the animal below. You can use 2 to up convert. So that would be if you had elks but wanted bears, you would change your elk dice into bears for 2 of your leaves. And 3 allows you to take a whole separate animal. So you could take those 3 as well as a bear in this case. This one allows you to use 1 of your personal dice twice. So in this case, I would be able to get 4 of the hawks. Or if I had decided to do this, I could get 2 fox plus another fox and get 3 fox. So that's using your die twice. This one, as we have here, just allows you to pick an animal of your choice. And on this die, those are the specialty. There's also one where you get a choice between a bear or 2 salmon. So if we come back over here, So these are the numbers that we're dealing with. So I have 3 bears, 2 elk, 2 fox, 8 hawks, and 7 salmon. And then we look to see what these are worth. So this is worth 1 bear, 1 elk, 2 fox, and 3 salmon. So I would be able to use this card. Now everybody can use the cards. You don't take the card or anything. So I would use this card and I would cross off these numbers for the animals I used. And then this 3 is the number, and then I would get 1 extra leaf down here to use for a different turn. As well, there are bonuses under the cards, and if I was to use this card, I would get to add 2 salmon to my thing. You can, here you're gaining another leaf. Here you get to roll one of your personal dice and take whatever animal it shows. And on this one you get an animal of your choice. So I'm going to just put this one up to show you how, now that we've gotten this far, how this plays into the writing version. So there is a booklet of the games, and there are 4 different games. This first game, game A, all you're doing is you're taking this number, it would be a 3 forest, and you're writing it here. In the forest, you write a 3. When you have 2 forests, you gain a bonus of the sunshine, which is down here, and you get to choose what bonus you want. You also get an additional point. When you have 1 of each habitat, you get 3 points plus an animal of your choice. And that's all you're doing is you're taking this number, putting it into that spot, and trying to fill up this sheet. Now this is B. This one works a little differently. In this one, you're taking this number and you're sort of filling in the little hexes for the same habitat. So if it's a forest and a 3, I would fill in 3 hexes in the forest line. Here I would gain a bear. Here, if you have them above and below, you can get the points or the other animal. You can get leaves if you have above and below. And so all you're doing is taking that number, filling in that many hexes, and trying to fill up whole lines across to get the most points. And as well, when there's little suns, you get down here, you get to choose what you would like as a bonus. This is sheet C, and this is similar. You take the 3 and you look for the forest and you trace out 3 of the hexes, and whatever you trace is what you get points. You have to start where the stars are, but once you have worked your way out a bit, then as long as you're touching another hex that's been traced, you can continue on. And this one also introduces landmarks that you have to try and surround. And once you surround it, you come over here, you cross off the landmarks, and you gain some bonuses. As well as there's the sun and the rain again. And if you cross off one with the sun or the rain, then you get to choose one of these bonuses as well. And then finally, sheet D is finally actually like Cascadia. So what happens is here you have 3. So what you're doing is you're picking 3 of the animals to add to your sheet in the forest area based on animal placement rules that you'd be familiar with playing Cascadia. And so you're trying to get your elks in a row, you're trying to get bears, little areas of salmon, and the hawks. There's a hawk somewhere on the sheet, I'm sure. I just can't see it at the moment. But so what you do is if you have a 3, you can use 3 animals. Now when we get into the larger ones, like the 2s, then we'll be able to get 4, and there's even some with 5. So you do want to be sure that to save some animals there, because then you'll be able to place more of the animals onto your sheets. Now here, if you have 3, You could place one bear, one elk, one fox. You could place 3 salmons, but you can't go, I want 3 bears. If you didn't spend 3 bears to get the card, you can't use 3 bears. So you just keep that in mind. And those are the 4 sheets for the Rolling Rivers collection. So now I'm going to talk briefly about Rolling Hills. It's basically the same game with a couple of small changes. It has its own set of cards, but they're still the same sort of idea, just with a few different collections of animals, but basically the same types of cards. They have their own dice, and the bonuses are a little different. This one lets you choose 3 individual dice to pick 3 individual animals to add. And this side lets you re-roll your personal dice twice to try and get different animals if you were looking for a specific animal. But the rest of the dice is basically the same. When it comes to the sheets, sheet A is exactly the same. Sheet B is exactly the same. Sheet C is exactly the same. However, with sheet D, instead of playing like the typical Cascadia game, here there are 15 sections. And in each section, you're trying to get the exact same animal. It's played the same way though. You get 3 animals to add to the forest area, and you're picking which ones you add. However, it'll be divided like this section here, section 12, has 6 spots. So I had 3 foxes from a forest card and 3 fox from the prairies card. And then as you're going, you're getting landmarks and crossing them off for bonuses. Here, each time you complete a section, it doesn't have to have the same animal. You've just completed it. You get bonuses. If it does have the same animal, then you cross it off down here to receive bonuses. And that's how that one is played. But otherwise, both of these games are basically the exact same game. So a lot of you are probably wondering, do I need to buy both Cascadia Rolling Rivers and Cascadia Rolling Hills? And the answer is no. They're the same game. If I was to pick one, I would pick Rolling Rivers. And the reason why I would pick Rolling Rivers is because of sheet D, and it has the sheet closest to actually playing a game of Cascadia. What perplexes me is, here is the thing again. I don't understand all these other sheets and why they were included. Why don't they just give you different versions of playing Cascadia? Like when you play the game, you have cards and with different scoring options. So just give me 4 different sheets with different scoring options of the way the animals should be made. I find personally, these sheets to be very boring, and I did not really enjoy playing them. The only one I enjoyed playing was the Cascadia sheet. But you only have, let's see how many. Sheet D starts here. This is how many sheet Ds you have. That's it. The rest are all those other games that I personally found to be very boring to play. The other thing I find is with roll and write games, I like to play them when I'm by myself and I don't have somebody to play the main game with. However, with Cascadia, I play it solo. So I don't need anybody to play Cascadia with. I just play it by myself. And so I don't know why I personally would play the roll and write. I would just play the game itself. So I was personally a little disappointed with this game. Other than that one sheet, I don't really know much I can say that I like about this game. It's not a game I would pull out, and I wish they had done it differently. But as I said, that is my opinion. Maybe you have different opinions on this game if you have played it. So let me know in the comments if you've bought the game, what you think of the game, how you play it. Do you like those other sheets being easier, or would you like more of a challenge?